Welcome to the Snohomish Storytellers. Here in our little corner of the universe in Snohomish, we have a strong sense of community and heritage founded in the whispers of yesterday's stories and the narrative of what is being written today. Snohomish Storytellers captures this through organic conversation between Snohomies, former, present, and future.
This podcast is brought to you by the historic Downtown Snohomish Association. Our mission is to promote, preserve, and improve the Downtown Historic District as the heart and soul of the city of Snohomish. My name is Megan Hetherington, Executive Director of HDSA, and my lovely co-host is
Sheila DeVerter, Board Member of HDSA. And with us today is also our podcast producer and Vice President of HDSA, Trent DeVerter.
And welcome to our podcast.
Well, welcome to this episode, this chapter of Snohomish Storytellers. We are on chapter 9?
Yeah, of volume 2.
Of volume 2. The season
Crazy.
Has flown by. So is the year. I can't believe it's April already.
This year has accelerated.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
I am glad the weather's getting nicer. We are able to appreciate downtown Snohomish in that spring, summer vibes, which I love. And our guest tonight has been a really big literal monument in Snohomish.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay.
But we have Doug Greenup here, who is the owner of the Marks building.
Yes.
And our fantastic landlord.
Yeah.
I am. I'm your landlord. That's right.
Best landlord I've ever had.
But if anyone has ever walked through downtown between, First Street and Avenue B, big corner stone building, you cannot miss it. It is definitely one of the hallmark buildings in downtown Snohomish here. That's Doug and all of his hard work of keeping this building in such great shape over the years.
Yeah, actually, it's a labor of love. And people say, well, geez, you own the Marks building. Actually, the Marks building owns me. So, yeah, absolutely. It's been a wonderful journey with the building, actually, for the most part. Old buildings tend to break a little bit, but, we've kept up with it and stuff. So it's nice. And it's a building with a lot of businesses in it, which is people would be surprised. We have over a dozen businesses now that call the Marks building home. It's nice the way that's evolved.
Mm-hmm. So, Doug, you bought the building how many years ago now? So
it's funny. I was thinking about that. So I think I've owned the building now for 27 years. 27 years. 27 years. So what would that be? 1996, I think, if I do the math right. And actually, the story of that is I had a software company called Minisoft, and I started that back in, this is going to date me now, but I started that back in 1982, 1983. So, and we,
Same age as me.
I won't take you on a journey of all of that, but it definitely a software technology company, and the times changed a lot, right? As the years went by. We started in Bellevue, Redmond, but we moved to Snohomish, and our first office was on 312 Maple Avenue A, right? So
yeah.
312.
Can you actually tell us a little bit about that? When Sheila and I were preparing for this, we were we literally brought up, why would you have a tech business in Snohomish when you could be somewhere like Bellevue or Redmond?
Well, yeah.
So what was the reason behind the choice to move out here?
Well, that's a great question. So, so I worked for a software company in Bellevue. Actually, I started in computer hardware out of college, and I was always in sales, and it was tech. And so I sold for a couple of hardware companies. They were called mini computers at the time, right? So a bit large business systems, and competed with IBM, and the companies that I work for are no longer here. But and then I went into software. The decision was made. I made that decision with a fellow I was working with to start our own company. And because we were already in Bellevue, we opened the business up in Bellevue. Quickly moved to Redmond, and of course, there's another M software company that dominates Redmond, right? So
what could that one be?
Yeah, how about that? So I think we both decided, I think we want to maybe move out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We were always competing with for talent, and we were a startup, and then we started to grow a little bit, but we didn't have the deep pockets Microsoft had and some of the other tech companies. So we thought we'd need some kind of an advantage, and so we looked around. We looked at Woodinville and Mill Creek and Lake Stevenson, the whole area, and we settled on the city of Snohomish. One, for affordability. And, at that time, it was really affordable, and it was kind of far out.
Yeah.
It's not anymore, but back then it was like, whoa, it's way out here. But it allowed us to, my partner and myself, to buy some nice property. And the schools were great. It was a great little town. And so that's what we decided to do. And so we purchased a building on 312 Maple, and we were there for a while. And then I was driving one day down First Street to work, and I saw a piece of art in the art gallery of the Marx building. And, my wife had wanted a nice picture, and this was a beautiful painting. And so I came right down and purchased the painting, but I fell in love with the building.
Was that from Arts of Snohomish? Well,
actually, it was the art gallery before Arts of Snohomish. Same space, by the way.
Okay.
But I was so impressed with the beams and the brickwork and everything else in the building. I thought, God, this would be amazing. And we're growing. And the building was larger, a lot larger. It's like 13,000 square feet, right? We had a small building on Maple. I thought, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll buy this. And so
did you just
it wasn't for sale. Though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, it wasn't for sale. But Frank Strom was the owner before me. Really nice gentleman. And I had a real estate agent, Gilpin Realty, actually, in town. A small world. Everything's small.
Yeah,
everyone's connected, right? In Snohomish, which is what makes it so fun. And anyway, so he approached him, and Frank said, no, I'm not really thinking about selling, but you know what? Get back to me. Right. And then about 2 weeks later, he reached back out to the agent and said, yeah, I'd like to sell it. And I said, awesome. And so I bought it, and there we are.
Wow. That's a very quick change of the heart from like not having any thoughts of selling to be like, yep, you can have it.
Well, I don't know why he did it. I think it was wonderful that he did. I was thrilled. I think maybe, we all advance in age, right? He was getting up there. So I think he would just kind of wanted to like say, I'm done.
Yeah.
And everything. Although he continued on. He like developed that fire station. He redeveloped the fire station.
Oh, that was him. Right?
Old fire station. That was him. He's quite remarkable.
Wow.
And what he did and everything. And when I bought the building, he gave me a bunch of pictures, historic, all kinds of historic, which adorn our hallway now and everything. So, and we were a software company here for quite a while. And then I sold the software company in July of 2022. The company that acquired me moved the software company to Utah. And then I found my building empty. Because we occupied the whole building, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So then I had to go to work and release it all. And we were able to do that.
Yeah,
pretty quickly, actually.
Really, really glad that you did, because I first met Doug. I was carrying around all of my wine walk signs, and many of the merchants in your building participate in the Snohomish wine walks. So I was just dragging my little wagon around. And I think, Doug, you commented on my Iowa State. Yeah,
I saw your sweatshirt. Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, you don't see people from Iowa down the street every day here in Snohomish, so I do stick out sometimes. But we just started chatting and got to know each other. And now here we are. We're tenants in your building. And
very glad to have you, actually.
Yeah, we're very glad to have you as our landlord.
Actually, you made this space amazing. You can't see it because we're recording, not televising, but gosh sakes. It's really cute what you did with it.
Megan did a fantastic job decorating.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I liked that I was given free creative design. And most everything was either furnished from my house or things that people gave to us. And they all happened to come together. I was very happy with that.
I mean, the building itself had such great bones. And Doug, you've maintained it very well, obviously. But if anyone listening have never been into the Marx building, please step in.
We'll give you a tour.
Take a tour. Even, the first floor where all the shops are, but all the exposed brick and the big windows. And Doug, you put in new floors this past year, and those are really nice.
They do. They look nice, actually.
They do look very nice.
I love the vaulted ceilings on the third floor. So people, they don't realize what it's like until they come up The entrance has got 32 stairs. It's this grand,
It is tall.
I know.
it's just, a lot of steps to climb, but this grand entrance and everything. And when you get up here, you've got this beautiful skylight in the main foyer. And then you've got these vaulted ceilings, which is incredible with all this brick.
No, it's beautiful.
It's remarkable, actually.
We held our last merchant meeting just out there in the atrium, and it was so nice. Like everybody was commenting on, oh, wow, it's such nice natural daylight and all the plants. And
it really is.
All the women were like, I feel like I need a ball gown when I walk down these stairs because it's these grand, huge staircase and you feel like you're going to have your Cinderella moment, you know?
You need to rent it out for like prom homecoming season.
Well, I don't know about that.
They can take their pictures
in
the
grand
grand stairway.
Damage, I think, to the building, don't you think?
Maybe. Well, one thing that I thought was interesting when you were sharing the story about, was Frank the name of the previous owner?
Strom, yes.
Frank, that you just took it upon yourself to ask, like make that opportunity. And then that is sort of how the reinvention of the basement came about when Kay basically came to you and was like, hey.
To your point, Kay actually is the owner of Peaches.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she has 2 daughters. Started this business, and they were an online business, and they wanted to open up their first brick and mortar, right? Their first actual store. They've got amazing stuff, actually. Now, obviously, I'm biased, but they carry great brands, Fiore and Free People, Active, and they're really quite innovative young women, right? So, but the story on that is just the basement I had ignored, right? So the software company, I was totally consumed by it. And we had all kinds of things going on, and the typical thing of tech company thing, right? Where we're working enormous hours and everything else, and so the basement I just ignored. It was like, gosh, I go down there once in a while, but we had leaks, and it's a basement, and it's an old basement, right?
Ancient.
Exactly. So I didn't lease it at all for years, so it was empty. So I was down there one day, don't know why. And this lady shows up, and it's Kay from Peaches. She said, "Are you Doug?" I said, "Yes." And she says, "Oh, good. I want to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, what I do?" Right? And she says, "Well, I'm really interested in the basement space." I said, "Well, it's really not for lease, right? I mean, I'm not really looking to lease it.
Habitation at all."
No, I said it's not tenable. It's and everything. Oh, we can make it tenable. I said, "Well, really?" She said, "Oh, yeah." And it turns out the Peaches ladies have husbands and brothers and nephews, and they're all contractors. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
So I mean, they can do anything. They've got plumbers, electricians, people that do flooring and everything. She insisted. I said, I don't want to lease it. She insisted. Who's your agent? I said, well, Laura Huntington with Workman Real Estate, and I know her, and because Kay actually also works a little bit, I think, at Windermere.
Yeah.
Real estate, so they knew each other. And so Laura called me up a few days later and says, "Hey, this Kay with Peaches wants to lease your this space." I said, "Well, do we really want to do that?" and I tell her no.
Yeah.
And so politely, right? And so and then a week later, she showed up. Kay did, and said, "I have to lease this space.
Wow.
Please."
Yeah.
I said, "Fine. We'll write it up. It's all you." And and wow, they transformed the space into something quite amazing, actually. Flooring, lighting, restored the brickwork, the wall.
It's beautiful.
It is truly beautiful, and they're being very successful too, which is I'm very happy about. And then they've expanding their business too, because they're taking another problem space in the basement, and they're expanding across.
What a blessing for you, right?
Oh, geez.
Coming in and solving all your problems.
Well, and they did. They saw the problem so they solved the problem on the west side of our building. And now Rise Studios is opening up a Pilates studio.
That was also a connection from Kay, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this another lady named Caressa. I think I'm on the first floor this time, and this blonde shows up, and she's all perky. And
these women just show up wanting to talk to Doug.
Typical like Pilates instructor, right? I mean, she's all like, go, all this stuff, and she all fired up and everything. And I want to lease your basement space.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is a theme. This is a trend. I said, well, that's really not for lease over there.
Yeah.
I've got some issues. Turns out the sidewalk, as you guys know, is the ceiling for 2 of the spaces down there. And so we get a little bit of leakage through that. And no, we can solve it. I said, God, I've heard that before too. And her husband's a contractor.
Wow.
Right?
Well, there's a way, right?
Here we go.
They know what they want.
Yeah. And anyway, so I didn't put up as much of a fight this time. I
Well, because
said,
Kay had already proven.
yeah, no.
You
I
learned your lesson with
said,
Kay.
you know what? Here's my agent. Here's
Yeah.
Laura, and of course the Rise folks had an agent, and Laura and this agent Tony knew each other. So anyway, it all came together really quick. And now they're going to open up May 1st, and they have transformed that space into something extraordinary again.
Yeah. It is
like,
crazy.
Wow. It rocks. In fact, they put a new bathroom in. They restored all the walls just like Peaches did, and they're collaborating together. So Rise is offering like glider and Beyond Yoga, athletic wear, and then Peaches has got their brands, and so they're complementary. The grand opening, 1st of May, is going to be an event. So that we're going to have pop-ups in common hallway. They're favorite vendors, both businesses will have partners displaying things and stuff. There'll be music and drinks and everything. It's going to be kind of like a huge party.
Swanky.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I think so. And then I think maybe we get Home Inspirations on the first floor, which is a very successful retailer. They've been in the building for a long time. And then Arts of Snohomish as well, which you mentioned earlier, and have everybody participate.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy how much growth, that go-getter attitude that you had 27 years ago, of just knocking on someone's door, and now all these ladies are doing it to you is hilarious. But also it's like
circle.
Yeah, it's very kismet,
Well, it is, and they're really smart.
Yeah,
and they're creative. It's Megan, has heard me say this a number of times. I've fallen back in love with the building because of all the enthusiasm and all of the excitement, all of the entrepreneurship, the creativity that I've experienced now from not just these two ladies, but Neo Mortgage and Briquette Homes and Mission Coffee, all of the businesses that have moved into the building after the software company hightailed it to Utah.
Yeah.
Right. And it was kind of like, wow, I've got an empty building. Now what? And it's like in a few months' time,
right,
it was completely reimagined.
Yeah.
And life couldn't be any more wonderful. Right. And everyone's doing so well.
What do
I'm
you
excited
think?
for summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody is.
When it warms up, we're going to rock.
Yeah. For sure.
What do you think is like the key to that kind of experience as a property owner? Because this story could have gone another way.
Yeah. It could have sat empty for a really long time,
You could have officially told Kay no.
Yeah.
And then that wouldn't have led to Kay.
All of the other relationships.
Carissa. Yeah. And so...
And I could have said no to Neo Mortgage.
Yeah.
And Neo Mortgage actually led to Goosehead, led to Briquette, led to a bunch of others.
And they also renovated their space really well.
Everybody
it was
did. It's
beautiful.
like I don't have to do anything. It's like this is so, and I'm not handy anyway, so this is like great. Everybody's got contractor friends or family, and it's like the building just gets better and better every week.
So what would you say is like if you could sum up for other property owners, the positive experience that you've had, what do you think is like the attitude behind that? What I'm trying to get at is like what you're saying is like, it's been so easy. Everybody else has come in and done these great things and everybody's doing well and you're happy. Right. That is the full win-win situation.
Oh yeah.
So if you were sharing with other property owners, what would be like your token of advice in that? Or like how to?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's a really great question. I don't know if I have the exact answer actually, because part of what happened was random. So we're blessed that the Marks has, as you mentioned, it's on First. It's on, actually Avenue A or B. You're B. You're right. You're right. I've been here all this time. I don't even know what avenues I'm on. You're right. B. So the location is amazing, right? So we start with a great location, which is nice. I will say one of the things we did commit to, and we had the luxury of being able to do this, is make improvements to the building every year. So we wanted to invest in the building.
So even when you had mini soft in here, that was
I
you
was
guys'
investing all the time.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, new HVACs, new roof. You know, as a software company, we wanted the best electrical. We wanted the best high-speed internet. There are a lot of things we wanted to support our business,
Right.
but we invested in the building.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything with the basement because I just didn't have the time. But boy, I'll tell you, on the third, second, and first, we invested heavily in it. So with flooring and lighting and everything else. So I would say one of the things, if it's hard because that's money and what came first, profit
Right.
or expense. And so we invested a lot and we had the ability to do that. So I'm grateful. But I would say investing in your building, making improvements to your building is important. It's a very attractive building to start with, but we invested a lot in it. So if you can do that, that would be a good thing. And then I think the second thing is I wanted a diverse, the software company dominated the building. So so I was able to be lazy. The way this worked was really we only had about 1/3 of the third in the beginning. And then the software company just like right now, there's several businesses on the third floor, right?
Were they already existing when you bought the building? So you just retained the tenants?
No, I didn't kick them out either. So what we did, I'm not going to do that. So basically, I needed the rent money too, actually, but to be honest, so there was that. But over time, as we expanded, I took another space on the third.
Oh, as their leases
were up.
Gotcha.
So I let them transition, and that worked out pretty well. And then I took the second in the same way, and then I took part of the first in the same way.
Oh wow!
Oh, which part of the first floor did you take?
It was behind Arts of Snohomish, so I split.
Gotcha.
Arts of Snohomish, they didn't need all of the space. Well, I convinced them they didn't need all the space. And so, right, and we put a wall, because that whole east side of the first was actually all art gallery.
Gotcha.
And so
I put down the whole hallway down there.
Right, down the whole length of it. And so I put a wall in,
Gotcha.
and I took that backspace, and developers went back into there, and everything. And so that worked out pretty well. So I would just say that having balance in your building, if you can, where the businesses can partner with each other.
Right.
So I think at the top, I don't know if we were recording it at the top when we were talking about this, but we have a couple themes in the building, right? So one of the themes is this real estate theme, where we've got an insurance company, we have a real estate agent broker, we have a mortgage lender, we have a home builder, we have a property manager now. So a lot of them know each other, and so they partner with each other. And there's, as you might imagine, there's referrals, lead exchanges, and all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm not going to mention his name, but the one that I was talking about for the space I occupy now would be a nice complement too,
right?
Because this individual's business is interacting with a lot of businesses in the area.
Right.
So again, that would be a real positive thing. You're a positive thing because you drive activity, and promote business within the city with an emphasis on the historic district. Again, very complementary with what we're doing.
Right.
Right. And then we've got retailers that also collaborate. So Home Inspirations is very much collaborating with Peaches. And both of them are going to be collaborating quite a bit with the Pilates studio. Arts Gallery is going to kind of benefit from all of that, and they're on board with it. And the Pilates is going to bring a tremendous numbers of people throughout the week. Yeah. And Pilates aren't cheap from what I understand. And so that, the demographic of that is people that maybe can spend some money. So that's a long answer, but probably two things. Invest in your building. You can't help your location. Whatever your location is your location, but invest in your building as a landlord and or property owner, and then try to find themes. So if you have a business that leases, what does that business do? Okay, and then look for other businesses that complement that business.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, that's good. And we have a very diversified base now, tenant base. Long-term leases, I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be an enduring building now going forward. The people are going to be here. We're not going to have a lot of turnover. That's the other thing. Turnover, you want people to stay and build their brand. And, I hear now from people where they talk about Peaches, just people.
Yeah.
Just in random conversations I'm having.
Yeah.
I said, well, gosh, they're in my building. It's, oh, I love that store.
Yeah.
Right. And they know it's in the Marks building. And I'm hoping Rise does the same thing. Home Inspirations, everybody knows who they are. It's a great store, and it's the Marks building.
Yeah.
That we want that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think overall, looking at the whole downtown district, the Marks building actually brought in, granted, we do have a couple other mortgage brokers and whatnot, but bringing people in specifically that work with each other is kind of creating that catalyst for that. And they could be a little bit self-sustaining that way. And that kind of diversifies the equity, right? That is kind of distributed around everybody else. But also like Mission Coffee. There's nobody else in downtown Snohomish that I know of who's a coffee distributor. We have our coffee shops, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But that's like something new that we didn't currently have here. Peaches is unique with their brands that they bring in and their business model, and that they have some men's clothes too, which is great. We're really wanting for that.
And they're expanding that. They're expanding that into that other basement space. So they're going to have a men's section, which I think
awesome.
is going to be, I hope it is. I hope it's awesome.
I feel like everything Kate touches is like, she's like gold.
Well,
It
seems to be. Yeah. I'm excited. She's got some interesting ideas on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how that
Rise,
works.
having, I can't think of any. Like we have Parkinson's Wellness Place and Snohomish Fitness. That's personal training.
Yep.
There's no Pilates, yoga, not in downtown.
Not like health related either. I mean, we have Mariposa Day Spa, which is more in the health and wellness realm, but not in like the exercise.
Not in the fitness side of things. So I appreciate that as well, because one thing that I think people don't necessarily think about is if there's no governing agency that says you like zoning rules. It's like you have to have this sort of business, or there can't be more than X amount of businesses in the area, which Snohomish doesn't have. So really the character of the downtown district is dependent on landlords.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we had, and this is one model you could take, if we had property owners that were like, oh, well, I want attorneys, real estate, mortgage, dentists, people that are consistent and are going to pay usually top dollar and be there for a while. Pretty soon your entire district has nothing to do but go to the dentist and visit your
It's
attorney.
a business park at that point,
And what a shame to have downtown Snohomish be something like that. But we've seen other communities, I won't name them and throw them under the bus, but there's some that are our neighbors that is exactly what has happened.
Right.
And their downtown feeling is lost. And it happens so fast, like faster than you would think, especially if there's property owners that own several buildings and they just lease to
whoever's the highest bidder. Yeah.
So you have to have I think a special kind of attitude, which I think is exactly what you're displaying, that you want to create success in your building for everybody, but also not just another of the same thing that you're already seeing.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's an important thing.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I always wanted retail to be first floor and basement, office to be second floor and third. So we wanted it to be that way. I never wanted office on the first on First Street. That just wouldn't, in my opinion, just wouldn't be appropriate or work. Now, I know that you can't legislate that, right? You can only hope.
Not here.
You can only hope that that's so. But I think the way the buildings are, just thinking about it, I'd be hard to do office in a lot of these buildings. Yeah. I think on the first floor, the main floor. Don't you think? I think so.
I mean, you would think, but what it comes down to, and I think right now is a time that it's difficult to imagine because we are in such a thriving time economically. We don't have vacancies. If there is a vacancy, it's taken like that. Someone is moving in before you can even find out who was moving out.
Or finding the real estate agent that holds the listing. Yeah.
So, but you can't take that for granted. And that also, I think, is when we can see districts really change because there's, I don't want to say desperation, but there's a little bit more of an urgency to lease your spaces if you have a lot of vacancies. And then it does go to, well, whoever wants to pay me, and that's where the work of downtown associations like ours really need to be well connected to their property owners, to potential tenants, to new businesses that want to open up, to grants, funding. It takes so many things to make a business happen, especially if you're in,
Mm-hmm.
more difficult economic times.
I can see that's where you would be a huge benefit, actually.
Well, that's what the work is of so many organizations like ours.
Yeah, no,
we
that's
don't
huge.
have to carry that load as much right now because, like I said, we're like, oh, look, a new business just opened up
And
yesterday.
it's like, nope, and it's
didn't even know that was
gone
vacant.
Well, I mean, to your earlier point, I mean, it could have gone a different way because I had 60% of the building fell vacant, or a little bit more than that, actually, completely vacant, no rent,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was like, gosh, I got to get busy,
Yeah.
and try to fill some of the space.
Yeah.
And so I can see why maybe a landowner would, property management would want to maybe lease something quickly.
Right.
I don't think I'd want to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's definitely like a token of privilege that comes along just with that statement. Like you just summed it up well. It's like, you got to get moving, but there's might be some people that really have to get moving even more, right? To be able to
Well, because you got property
make
tax.
their mortgages and their property taxes
right,
and all the things.
Property
Yeah.
tax is pretty painful, and there's insurance, and there's just utilities. I mean, there's a lot of bills that just keep coming.
Right.
And so if you've got a building that's not full, I mean, and if you also have a mortgage too,
Yep.
we're lucky we don't, but other people might. And so that'd be hard too. So it's, yeah.
But there's also some benefits to the patience though. Cause like, as you've seen, granted you didn't have to, wait too long, but
Right.
having the right seeds coming into the building and all of the like and all of the other connections that you get, or getting Neo in and all of the other businesses that he's brought in. It's like, yeah, sometimes it's not about who has the money now, but who might be able to come in at just the right time to bring in all of the subsequent things, right? Which you can't predict for certainty,
Right.
But I think that is part of the, not selection, but just a little
Strategy.
bit of strategy of,
Right.
having, and we also hear that, you have a lot of very strong values in like community and collaboration. And I think that helps nurture that kind of environment with the people who do come in, right? They see that like, yeah, I mean, I've heard it many times, like when I talk to the guys at Neo, it's like, oh yeah, Doug's great. He's such a great landlord. He's so friendly. You should come meet him. Like the number of times that I've
Is that how you got connected?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was talking with Sean and Tim, and they were the ones who connected me to Doug. But, just you fostering that environment that enables other people to also be super enthusiastic about the building. And they're doing, work for you. They're bringing in other people that they know.
We're talking about networking.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about. So I'm in sales. Okay. I've always been a sales person, right? So from the very, very beginning. So I have a bit of an advantage there, right? So networking is really important. And that's something when you talk about how to make it happen, so a property owner and stuff, have a good real estate agent, first of all.
That's
okay.
true.
And I've got a great one. Okay. She's fantastic. And she's very well connected. And that's Laura, who I talked about earlier. And so she's helped, frankly, and she knows a lot of people. And then Snohomish is a wonderful town, and that you get to know people over the years, right? And so I like knowing a lot of people. I like working with people and stuff. I like sharing and back and forth, and so that pays off.
Yeah.
I also talk about, gosh, with Neo, if you've got some businesses that are looking for space in a building, people you partner with, gosh, I've got space.
Yeah, bring them in.
Let's talk. Break-Cat happened because of that. So networking, leveraging the people you already have in the building, in your building, I think is a good thing.
Snohomish Storytellers is supported by El Marie Hair Studios.
Sheila?
Yes, Megan.
I was trying to grocery shop for my family.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite things to do.
It's tough.
It's time consuming. You have to meal plan and all the things. It's never just like grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you see how much it stinking costs. Everything is so expensive right now. I can't handle it. And it makes it really hard to run your house on a budget, and you have to prioritize all the things that are needs. And but every now and then, like, you just need to take care of yourself.
Right.
And you have to kind of get creative with the way that you spend your money. But I feel like if we're never, especially as moms, busy moms, if we're never taking some time to put our hard-earned money back into ourselves, we just get burnt out.
Right.
So one thing that I really love about El Marie Hair Studio is they're able to work with all budgets. So if you need to just feel pampered, feel loved, make yourself look great again,
right,
they have options for you to do that because they have varying price points based on different levels of hairstylists at each location. And they always have some sort of seasonal promotion. So even if you can, get an extra good deal on a variety of services, so it's not just one thing, like just a haircut or just color today, you can actually get the whole package and feel really good when you leave their studio that day.
Right. You really got to make sure you take time to recharge yourself, to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And, as you busy moms and other busy people out there, it's not always convenient time-wise to go to a hair salon. And that is also why we love El Marie Hair Studio, because they have 5 locations from Mill Creek, Alderwood, Woodinville, Smoky Point, Arlington, and of course, up here in Snohomish. So there is really no excuse to not take care of yourself or your family and take that little piece of that budget, to make sure you feel good about yourself. And don't forget that if you mention HDSA, you will enjoy a special offer of $10 off a haircut and $20 of a color for a total of $30 in savings from your hair.
Awesome.
So there's really no excuse to take care of yourself. Take a moment.
Yes.
Put some of that budget
Take
for
this
yourself.
ad as the time. This is for you. If you've been thinking about it, you need to go do it.
Yes. For more information and to book your next appointment, you can go to elmariehairstudio.com. That's ELLEMARIE hairstudio.com.
Something that doesn't happen, I wish it did, is I don't know who owns any of these buildings on the street.
We do.
I know
we
you
have
do.
a database.
But
it was a lot of work.
But wouldn't it be nice if I understand some are absentee owners, but wouldn't it be nice if the owners of the various properties would communicate with each other?
Yeah.
I'd love to have some dialogue with some of the other owners on the street.
Yeah.
We're blessed. We're full.
Yeah.
Right. But I have people that want space in the building. They are looking for space. I could share that information with some of the other folks that might have, maybe nobody has openings. I don't know.
Yeah.
What the status of this of First Street is. But I think that would be nice. And that would help everyone, I think, if we had that kind of relationships.
Yeah.
That's
maybe
what
we're
working really hard to build. And I will just be 100% honest that as far as HDSA communicates with so many people, like you have to communicate with your city government. You have to communicate with your residents, your visitors, your property owners, your business owners. Like we're kind of the center of this wheel that sometimes feels like it has 200 spokes on it.
I'll bet.
But the most difficult has been property owners.
Yeah.
It is so hard to, number one, finding the information took a group effort and it took them months to do.
How many are there?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I feel like when I imagine the spreadsheet, it's at least 50
Oh, wow.
long.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't think that we even have it fully complete yet. And that is just our little district.
Sure.
And also there are property management companies that manage several different buildings. So that one listing might represent 6 places,
I see.
But trying to communicate and build exactly what you're talking about of like, there is value in this.
I think
we
so.
invite you to be part of the conversation, and demonstrating what that value is has been hard.
But I think maybe some other people might also feel the same way Doug does, but don't know where to voice that or where to connect with others. And, as best as we try at HDSA to communicate to all of those really stakeholders, right? Sometimes things slip through. We get filtered into the spam folder a lot sometimes. So completely understand, if there are other people out there who want to connect, they might not feel like they have the support system right now.
I wouldn't know how to connect.
Exactly.
Actually, to be honest, I mean, at all.
Yeah.
And it's more than just like referrals on people that are looking for space. It's also like contractors.
Right.
Okay. Like sharing, like, gosh, because these are historic buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Sharing resources.
There's definitely unique aspects of it. So I've got some contractors that have been really great. I could share those names. And then problems, leaks. I talked about leaks and then interacting with the city.
Yeah.
What's the best way to do that? Who's the best
Contacts,
contact? And all of that at the city and stuff. Now, I don't know I don't have all the answers at all.
Right. Yeah.
But I have some. And maybe the building owner 4 doors up has some answers.
Right.
Yeah.
So that there's a lot good that could happen.
Potential for collaboration.
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe we need we have our Facebook merchant group.
Yeah. We need
a similar one for property owners.
Well, we do have within the website, we have our membership areas, and Doug, you are one of 2 property owners that are registered in that. And it's literally a forum where you
2 out of 50, huh?
Yeah. Yes, I know, we're doing great. You know what? I'm happy for the 2, honestly. Like a year ago, I had 0. So we have structure and systems in place to do this. And now it's just getting the message out there.
Getting the engagement.
Like you even saying, I don't know where I would do that. HTSA is a place to do that. And you're literally shedding light on, we need to do better in our messaging so that people know that that resource is there. And then it's something that we can build up together.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. And it would be interesting. There's so many other things.
Yeah.
It's like, so what are you charging for rents?
Right.
There's a business aspect.
Yeah.
I know we don't like to talk about, profit and greed and everything, but it's there.
If you aren't making a profit, you don't exist.
Well, if you don't make a profit, you can't invest in your building.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, frankly, so you've got to make money to make money.
Yeah.
And exactly. So, but talking about that, just those things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I can also see, a lot of these buildings might have been built by the same people as do you have the same issues that I do?
Yeah.
Why is this thing not turning on?
Well, we just put a bathroom in the basement. Actually, I didn't do it. Rise Studios did. But, based on some of the bathrooms I've seen in some of the buildings on this street, when I've got, man, they could use some work.
Yeah.
Right. And I tell you, these Rise folks discovered some really interesting techniques and some very interesting technology for bathrooms. And going forward, that's the only way I would go is what they did throughout this building.
So that's, if anyone else downtown needs a bathroom built.
No, I'm not going to mention, I don't want to embarrass some of the businesses here, but I did have a great dinner about this direction.
We won't tell you which direction he's pointing at.
But boy, that bathroom, woo.
Yeah. Needed a little help?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's funny. And I think sometimes too, we've seen certain situations happen recently to where there has been code enforcement that has happened, which has been a big deal in the city lately. And it's not that the codes didn't exist and that these are new things. They've been there, and they're also national codes and federal codes. It's not like the city of Snohomish has decided, but the city has to enforce it. And part of the problem has been the business wants to do certain things to come up to this code and make these things happen. Yeah. And the landlord is not willing. That directly affects the businesses, and so if there was resources and kind of that communication piece there to be like, no, you can do this, right. Like a bathroom, for an example, because that affects like what you're saying, it affects the customer, that affects your business. So if there's an upgrade that needs to happen and you can't do it. Well, this is for the Pilates studio, right? So we had a bathroom down there. We have a bathroom down there, but I wanted a dedicated bathroom. Well, especially for that clientele.
Well, for that clientele. Yeah. Absolutely. So I wanted that. And so it enhances the building and stuff. But the cost to do it traditionally was crazy. I mean, it's a lot of money. Yeah. And but we found it's amazing. Found a different way. Yeah. That it's wonderful. Functions just like a regular bathroom and stuff. But there's some technologies now that have been developed to accommodate urban areas, like New York City condominium. Very building.
Concentrated.
Yeah, very concentrated, spaces. Exactly. That we were able to use here.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. And at a fraction of the price. Yeah. I was stunned.
Yeah.
That's great.
By that. Yeah. So we were able to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like someone needs to do a TED Talk new bathrooms in historic buildings 101.
You know, it's something, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and stuff. I have to use them more often. Maybe that's why. And I'm focused on it. But I mean,
it is great, right?
It's important.
I think that is really one of the difficulties is that these historic buildings are historic. They were built literally hundreds of years ago. And, you know, unless you've incrementally done things, or even if you have been incrementally doing things, there might still be portions of it that are just difficult to work with, you know?
Well, it's expensive.
Exactly.
It just is. So finding ways to do it but not have the major expense,
right,
is what we're trying to do.
The problem solving, and that's the collaboration and the community that you guys can offer.
And that's why we have, you know, having all these contractors as relatives. I've adopted them all.
You know, find family members that are contractors.
It's been pretty great, and they've done the research, which is fantastic. So.
Yeah.
But actually, the city's been pretty good to work with.
Yeah.
I feel like the city's great. I mean, as far as like, you know, I hear stories, especially now being connected to these other downtown communities where it's like, if you don't have a good relationship with your city, it can be hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well,
for sure.
Because they're human too, right? So they're going to remember and say so. Yeah. But no, especially the rank and file, because we had a big leak and we had to fix it and stuff. They were really cool.
Yeah.
And very responsive. So yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Are you going the same direction?
I think we were probably
converging. Are you going to Skylights?
I was going to go to Skylights. Nice. Yes. See? We share the one brain cell.
We do.
Two. On a good day,
we actually became friends over this podcast. Like we had hardly really talked to each other before that. And then we were hosting a podcast and now we're like
finishing
friends.
Each other's sentences.
Sandwiches.
Well, your sisters.
Basically.
Nice.
So the leaks that you're talking about, and you alluded to this already, that as we're in the building, and we're going to put some photos up with this podcast. So the basement goes underneath the sidewalk.
It does.
The basement was at one point a county or city jail.
Snohomish jail. That's right. Women's jail.
Women's jail.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that part.
So they segregated women and males.
You know, that is also full circle that now the people revitalizing the basement are all women.
Yes.
You know, you imprisoned us years ago.
And the ghost down there is female as well.
So there you go. Maybe they're all just working on it together.
I swear I saw a ghost. I ran down to the mailbox real quick because I was like, if I don't do this tonight, I'm not going to remember to do it. And when I was coming back up the back staircase, I swear someone walked by the door that goes in the upper level of Home Inspirations. And I stopped and like leaned back to look. No one there. No mannequin.
You hate scary stuff. Are you okay?
I was like, okay. And just like kept walking.
There's supposed to be a ghost down there. It's a grandma that knits, and that
somebody
chair.
was in Home Inspirations. I'm going to check with Nicolette.
The
be like, were you there?
We're not throwing that chair away. That chair, actually, that's where she sits.
Yeah.
I bet
and
maybe
she'll
bad
take
things would
Pilates
happen if you throw that away.
She'll be doing Pilates?
Yeah, she may be,
Ghost that does Pilates, yeah.
She'll be using that nice new bathroom.
Right? We're giving her a new lease on life.
Back to the ghosts in the basement. And it used to be apparently a women's jail, which I didn't know that part. There are skylights in the sidewalk that actually illuminate the basement, which would provide light into the cells, the jail cells themselves, correct?
That's correct.
That's a story I have been told.
No, that's correct. Yeah. So there's 7 skylights that are built into the sidewalk, and they were there to provide natural lighting to the jail cells.
How nice.
So our building faces First Street. And so the sidewalk right out front of our building is the ceiling for our 2 southernmost spaces on both the east and the west side. So Rise Studio has the west space.
Gotcha.
And Peaches has the east space. And so we had some leakage issues. And like I said, when I was doing the software thing, it was like, I'm not going to deal with it. I don't have time for it. But I really couldn't lease it with the kind of leakage. And it turns out it was a water main that fed our sprinkler system in the basement that was leaking. So it was more than just the skylight leak.
Yeah.
It turns out that was the biggest leak. And then we had some other plumbing stuff that, again, unrelated to the sidewalks, and the skylights and stuff. So we solved that. The city, we worked with the city. We got that solved. And so now the Rise space is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Pretty dry. Still get a little bit of drip, down the wall. And then on the Peaches side, it's a little bit worse. And so part of that leakage is the skylights. They're old, as you probably would imagine. And so we're going to replace them.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working with the city, and we've come to a decision now. City's really decided more than I have. I don't mind. Whatever you think works. I mean, whatever you guys think is historic, because it's going to have to be a replica, right?
Yeah.
I can't restore what exists,
Right.
because it's broken down and everything. So there's we found a couple different suppliers that produce these. This is very common throughout all kinds of cities all across the country. They're made precast and with modern material, but they look historic.
Yeah.
And so the city wanted it to be purplish. No problem. They'll do that. They wanted it to be oval or oval. I wanted square, but they wanted oval. That's fine. We found a manufacturer that does that. And so we're going to replace all of the skylights.
Nice.
Wow.
And the material is almost indestructible, which is nice. You'll notice when you go out there,
that's the
it's
other
been
scary
chipped.
thing.
Yeah.
Right? But this, you'd have to take a major jackhammer
Right.
to really, really screw it up.
Somebody would notice.
Yeah, which is really nice, right? So, and what we're going to do is we're going to backlight from the basement up.
I'm so excited for that.
So
I know.
it'll light up the sidewalk at night, which would be very cool.
Yeah.
And again, we'll shed light on our building, right? So our building will be the shining example for the city, right?
Yeah.
The jewel in the crown. All of those, you can pick your favorite way to describe it, but it'll be
As long as you agree that it's the Marx building.
As long as the Marx
whatever you
building.
want.
We're not going to do a Batman thing where we do Marx in the sky, but we're going to have
Maybe
it.
not yet.
Not yet.
yet.
But we'll have the really nice lit sidewalk, which would be nice. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. It's going to take us 8 weeks to get them. We're ordering
Wow.
them. It takes a while.
I mean, to me, that's quick.
Well,
I was
thought-
expecting more.
Yeah, no, they said 8 weeks. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we've sent them the specs and everything else.
Wow.
And so we'll get them and then we'll go through permits and all of the, all the stuff you do.
Get it installed.
And get it done.
Yeah.
And my hope, fingers crossed, is it solves most of the leak
Yeah.
that remains.
Right.
But we're looking pretty good now that way. And gosh, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's such a great preservation project, and also something that, because you aren't just replacing, but you're also improving. Like
Yes.
you say, you're adding these backlights to it. And it's going to be something that's kind of this cool destination thing that people will enjoy
Right.
visiting in Snohomish. And I love that you are also, I know that you've discussed this, we've talked about it, but you've discussed it with David, who's a board member of ours, that
Right.
we're going to try to preserve the current ones as much as possible and then repurpose those into like art
Yeah, I'm donating
pieces
those.
that will
That's right.
connect.
When you take it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Aw.
Yeah.
I don't see using them in my home, right, or anything. So, so the city or the HDSA or the city or both or wanted them, and great. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's great, and
Yeah.
create some art or create
Yeah,
something.
we were
that,
hoping to create like some, artistic connections to history.
Yeah.
So that when people are outside
Right.
seeing that, they could possibly come inside to the basement or wherever we can determine is a good place to have it here.
Sure.
That they could see what
Oh,
the
that's
original
wonderful.
ones looked like, and then also have one at like the Historical Society,
There you
maybe
go.
at the Carnegie or
I
at
love it.
City Hall, however many we can preserve.
Oh, I think the Carnegie
Right.
would be a perfect place.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Gee, it's cool you're thinking about putting one here. I think that
Oh, yeah.
in fact, I'd love to do signage around that.
Yeah.
I kind of had this vision with the hallway down there in a basement that we'd have signage that would actually, you could walk, because it goes in a circle,
Yeah.
right? And so you could walk
Like a museum.
in a circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could walk in
Yeah.
a circle and you could start, the building was built in, and was, kind of the history of that, Thomas Marks, and then why his name is in the face of the building. And, it's kind of a funny story. And then a first running toilet for City Hall, Snohomish Jail, just kind of all
Through
of the
the
things
years.
that are really cool about the building, and just have nice, and having that,
Yeah.
one of the skylights is a part of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Would be pretty awesome, because we've got those
Yeah.
brick walls.
Yeah.
And that,
It would fit right in.
wouldn't it fit perfect? I
It'd be
think it'd fit great.
You know what I also love is the fact that you doing this now, Doug, is part of history. It's
Mhm.
going to be part of history, because the second you take that thing out, right, you install a new one, we put the old one on display. That is literally you putting such a big timestamp into the story that this building is.
Well, let's not say me. Let's just say I don't want me to
You
be
and
it.
others.
I mean, the building is, I may own the building, or it owns me, whatever you want to say, but it's the city's
Yeah.
building,
And
really.
it reminds me of the conversation we had at the Oxford, about how they were very much feeling like they're stewards of the building.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
it for a
Exactly.
certain period of time. They do whatever improvements they can and contribute to the story and further the story, right? And that's exactly what you're doing, especially with all of the preservation projects that you've been doing inside, outside.
Exactly.
You're adding to the story of the building, and that's just lovely. You're making history. Everyone.
I've lived in Snohomish a long time, so I love it, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people here love this little town.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And so I think that's what this is about. Is if you love something, you want to share that,
right?
That love with others
and reinvest in it.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we're only here for a short period of time, for heaven's sakes, right? So I'm not looking for my name to be on anything or anything like that. But history is, gosh, I mean, so much gets lost, right?
Yeah.
So having some, I was thinking about little Halloween. It's funny. I was thinking about this Halloween trick or treating with all those little people. Yeah. Little
children,
people.
Little monsters.
Yeah, the little people. Yeah, and they're trick or treating. On First Street. So it's so charming, and it's historic first that they trick or treat on. So and when you talk to people that have graduated from Snohomish High School and the parade that they have, homecoming parade, and the
serpentine,
and you think about all the different things and all the memories. And they take that with them forever.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think to Sheila's point, like you are playing a part in what other people's experience and memories of Snohomish is going to be. And there's been so many people that have come before you and
tremendous
before
number
us
of people
that have done the same thing. And it's like you say, oh, I don't want it to be myself or any sort of. And maybe many of them had that same attitude, but it's still an essential contribution.
Yeah.
That had it gone one way or another could have really change the experience overall. So we just commend you for what you do because it expands even beyond the Marx building, you know, all those memories you're talking about and things like that for people. It actually does influence that. So
and that painting, by the way, is still in my house.
Is it? What is it a painting of?
Yeah, well, it's actually, it's poppies, red poppies, and a pond. It's hard to describe in words. It's quite amazing. It's very large, and it popped.
Yeah.
In the main window down here.
Yeah.
And I drove by and I'm like, wow, that's perfect. That would fit perfect, in our family room, and it's still there.
It all started with the poppies.
I was like, wow. And then I came down to buy that painting.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, this building is really cool.
But I can also see that same story happening with the new skylights. You know, I can see other either business owners, property owners, or even just visitors, right? They walk over and they're like, whoa, this is really cool. And then, of course, they'll run into you because it seems like everyone runs into you in this building, right? And then they get talking to you and then they get inspired to do the same thing with their property, right? I think that's where the domino effect.
I'd like to think that would happen, but I don't know.
I think it will.
I have faith. Well, I've actually had a couple come down, and I have chatted. One of them is Shop-a-Lights, maybe.
Oh yeah,
little Shop-a-Light.
That landlord. And then the landlord of Toto, Mexico. And we have talked.
Yeah.
Because they're both interested in what we were doing in the basement.
Yeah.
So I talked about, kind of what we're doing and kind of our challenges and stuff. So it'd be great if we could have more conversations, right, with others.
Yes.
But
I think what we need to do is get you a little postcard that's like, hey, did you know HDSA has membership for property owners and it's free? Scan this
and
QR
start
code.
handing it out every time you talk to someone.
I can just go up and down the street. That'd be my volunteer effort. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
We're going to add you to our Block Ambassadors, but specifically for landlords.
Well, I'll have to carry some Mission Coffee with me.
There you go.
Hand them a coffee bag.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
I mean, I would talk to a guy giving me free coffee.
How to kidnap Megan.
Yes, coffee. Free coffee.
They are an interesting company.
Stuff.
I got to say, the Mission Coffee folks, they're really interesting. So they're roasters and they're wholesalers.
Yeah.
And they got a big online business.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still haven't met them yet because they're always here when I'm not here.
Yeah, they work off hours.
They work in,
Crazy, right?
Oh, interesting.
But the office smells like coffee when you come in the morning.
Yeah, well, this is their big lab in here. They're roasting and testing.
Tinkering,
Oh, yeah.
I just love their office.
Yeah.
It's so
Isn't that
beautiful.
pretty what she did with that office home?
That's
Another
really good decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Claudia.
Just a powerhouse of people
women in this building.
In this building.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I like the energy here so much. It's female. Even the ghost.
It's the ghost. Yeah. It's all the ghost, had this whole plan.
It's a friendly ghost, by the way.
It's a friendly ghost. Yeah.
We've not had any threats.
Yeah.
No threats.
Well, what do you see in the next couple of years for yourself?
After the skylights?
Skylights.
Searchlights? I don't know. So I'm technically retired.
Even though I see you here every day.
Yeah, well, so I do invest. I have invested in other technology companies. I have a non-compete, so I can't, I'm kind of paid not to work, basically. And everybody's thinking, boy, that's great.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Frankly, just bored as heck. But I have invested in some technology companies, right, that are not competitive with what Minisoft did. And so I'm involved in that and everything. I've got grandkids. I've got kids and grandkids. And most of them are in Scottsdale, Arizona. I have a home down there, and my wife's down there, and the plan was for me to eventually move down there. But the building kind of holds me here, and then my mom is here, right? And we've talked about that, and so I want to be here for her. So I think for the near future, probably when you're talking about a year or two, probably I'm just going to be here, kind of doing my thing, and stuff. My non-compete's up. I might jump back in. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You just can't be at rest yet.
No, it drives me crazy.
Retirement isn't for everyone, it seems.
It drives me nuts. I mean, I just can't. Oof.
Yeah.
You can only read and, watch TV and walk and
I think to some people, it just feels good to be producing something.
I want to produce something, yes.
Yeah. I understand.
And I love technology. So I loved it. But I do want to spend more time with my family and have been. So I've got 2 grandsons in Montana, and I've got a grandson down in Scottsdale, a granddaughter down in Scottsdale. And, I've got a daughter over in Montana. I got a daughter in Scottsdale, a son in Scottsdale. And so
you got your places to visit.
Yeah. So I've got, so
lots
it's either Kalispell or it's Scottsdale. So Kalispell in the summer and Scottsdale in the winter.
That sounds good.
Although I like the summers here.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we always end our podcast with a final question, which is if you could describe your perfect day in downtown Snohomish, what would that be like for you?
Oh, wow.
I'm guessing it's summertime.
Well, summertime, if it's pouring down rain, probably hit a coffee shop. But okay, so I like Jake's a lot.
Yeah.
So for breakfast, the waitresses are hilarious.
Yeah.
I get the biggest charge out of them. And the breakfast is gigantic.
Yeah.
So for me, starting out with that would be great.
And then a nap after, right?
And then, I was going to say take a walk down the river, on a beautiful sunny day, because the walk down there is fantastic. And I'm not a big shopper. Be honest. I mean, if I was, probably stroll through the shops and stuff. Maybe not. But I think, Jake's for breakfast and then probably walking, down the river would be a perfect day. Although kayaking is fun.
Have you kayaked on the Snohomish River?
I have.
Ah.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Not in the winter because I freeze, but that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that too.
Where do you
wanted to do that?
You start Katy Landing?
Yeah.
And then where do you end though?
I park down here.
Oh.
Yeah, way down. Yeah. And I have to kind of go upstream a little bit to get back.
That's what I've always wondered.
I float past and I gotta keep going.
That's what I've always wondered, but everyone is like, I get how you get in, but how do you get out?
How do you get out?
Yeah.
Well, you can walk Centennial too, right? But I like the river.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, actually. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
It is nice.
But
it's
nice. And then I also like hitting golf balls over, at Stalkers.
Yeah, at Snohomish Valley
Center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like doing that. Nice. Just it's mindless.
Yeah.
Basically, just get a bucket and just
hit the balls.
Knock the heck out of it.
And it's such a nice view.
Oh,
like you cannot beat that view.
Driving here tonight was incredible. Holy smokes.
Yeah, the mountains are out. You can see
the
them.
snow on the mountains, so pretty.
I know. I love this time of the year in the spring. Like, it's funny because spring can be sometimes my least favorite time because it's like you've been cold for so long and
now
you're just
wet
waiting
and
for it.
Cold.
But scenically, I really love this time of the year because there is still snow on the mountains and it's kind of like fall with more snow because in the fall we have those clear, crisp days.
Yeah.
But the snow hasn't started to fall quite yet.
Yeah.
And in the spring, it's still there because it hasn't melted. So you just get the most beautiful views and with the trees starting to bloom. And
it always takes you aback. And Trent does this every season. It seems like it's like, oh, there's the mountains. And it's like, yeah, it's always been there. It's just covered in the winter. But it's kind of like a nice surprise of like, welcome. You do live in
a
Washington
beautiful
and
place. Yeah.
Snohomish.
I do like
you know.
Andy's, by the way.
Yeah?
I like their fish and chips, and I like their tartar sauce.
Oh.
And he will not give me his recipe for his tartar. He said it's a secret.
I can imagine.
Well, if it's so good, you have to guard it, right?
Oh my
Like the
gosh,
secret.
it's amazing. Have you had it? Oh, if you like tartar sauce, that's
I love
really
tartar
good.
sauce, and I don't recall that I've had it at Andy's.
Oh, it's really good.
Probably because I'm
The
stupid gluten
gluten-free.
intolerant, so I
Yeah.
can't eat like
Oh,
fish and chips.
sad.
I
Oh,
know,
geez.
right? It
They
is so
have a
sad.
gluten-free option.
Really?
I feel like I
For
went
fish and chips?
for something because I went to
Yeah,
lunch.
that would be amazing.
How's that possible?
Well, I went to lunch with a friend and she's gluten-free and she ordered something. And this was a couple years ago, so I don't remember. But I swear she ate
there's
something.
always some things you can order at restaurants that are gluten-free. The
That is
problem
true.
is the stuff you want, like the fish and chips
Yes.
or
Yeah.
the amazing bread. And
Right.
like, ugh,
Oh, yes.
you can't.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as good gluten-free bread.
Okay, I just like to eat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
So do we.
I can't help it.
We talk about food a lot on this podcast.
Yeah. Probably
I gotta
more.
get down and get that vinegar.
Oh yeah, from A Bit of Taste.
Yeah, a bit of taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
I
Doug
gotta get
hooked
down
on
there and do that
shrubs.
too.
Yeah, shrubs are.
That's
Shrubs
another
are where
plug.
it's at.
Yeah.
We don't get paid for any of these plugs. We just
Yeah.
plug all the time because we
No,
can't help
I mean,
ourselves.
That's
We
the cool
just
thing
love
about the
it.
town. There's
Yeah.
so many great things,
Yeah.
right? I still need to get over to Rogers.
Mm.
You know, everybody
Yeah,
tells me, "Oh,
Wednesday
you got to eat there. You got to
nights.
eat
You
there.
gotta
You
go
got
on
to
a
eat." I have
Wednesday.
never. Well, I've walked over. You need reservations.
I mean,
Yeah.
they
So
do sell
everybody on the
out.
podcast, you need
Yeah.
reservations. I've tried to walk in twice,
Yeah.
and they're very nice, but no,
Yeah.
there's
No.
no room
Yeah.
at the inn.
We tried that on Friday and no luck. But we went to the Rep and it was
Oh, and the bakery was
very
good.
good.
I went to
Yeah.
the bakery for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good breakfast too.
Yeah.
Actually, I love breakfast.
Most important meal of the day.
Absolutely, I love that. I love that. I love that. And their eggs Benedict was really good. And Jake's cinnamon rolls are insane.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
Everything at Jake's is gigantic,
Yeah, I
except
know
the
it.
restaurant itself.
Yeah, no, it's tiny. Yeah,
It is so
but
small.
the waitresses are so funny.
Yeah.
They are funny.
They're
They're
the-
kind of like your aunt, like
Yeah.
you know how you would expect your aunt to talk to you and behave. Everyone's,
pretty much.
Everyone's your
Hit
aunt.
you on the
at
side of the head.
Jake's.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Finish your plate.
Yeah. Well, Doug, thank you so much for giving
you.
us your time tonight.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate you being here
Thank
and
you.
sharing your love, your rediscovered love for the Marks
Mhm.
Building
I love the Marks Building.
and everything that you've done. I feel like you've been such a great catalyst for growth here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, anybody want to stop by?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Marks Building, please do.
yeah.
You know, and shop here.
Shop here, get a free tour.
Yeah,
Right.
get a free tour. Shop here.
Yeah. Just find Doug.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. We'll talk about it. All right, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Doug.
you.
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Snohomish Storytellers.
Keep writing those stories, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Snohomish Storytellers, brought to you by the Historic Downtown Snohomish Association, produced by Red Trucks.